What's a secret your so still doesn't know about you, and why have you kept it secret? My wife had her drink on the floor one evening, while sitting on the couch watching Netflix. She took a drink and immediately spit it out. A bug had gotten in her glass and she almost swallowed it. I immediately grabbed the drink, told her it's just a little moth, and while I disposed of the drink ruiner she gagged profusely and rinsed her mouth out. All bugs freak her out. Thankfully she was soon mostly over it, since it was such a small moth. We'll never tell her it was a pretty good sized cockroach. I hate her homemade spaghetti sauce. It's been 14 years, why tell her now? My significant other's father used to always give her quarters growing up. He has since passed, and now every time someone in the family finds a quarter they think of him looking down on them. It's sweet. Before we moved into our first home, I snuck in and hid quarters in obscure places all over the house. She's still finding them, and she likes to leave them in the spot she found them as a reminder. It always makes her smile and I'll never tell. I have a secret safe in our house. I just keep some notes, financial info and some emergency cash in it so nothing sinister. She just doesn't know about it. I had the house/safe before she moved in, and I just haven't bothered to tell her about it. That I didn't actually find our dog, lost and alone, in a parking lot. I actually paid $70 to a couple meth heads for her. He didn't want a dog, and I knew these people wouldn't take care of her. So I made up a sob story that she had no one else, and I just convinced him she should stay, rather than me finding her another home. He absolutely loves the little maniac now. Alright, strap yourselves in, this is my time to shine. One night I decided I wanted to take a sick day the next day and play some Doom. I had been freshly dating my then significant other, current fiance, and didn't want her to think I was lazy, so I told her I had an upset stomach too. At the time, the company I worked for sick leave policy was that you rang up, spoke to a registered nurse, they gave some advice, and logged your absence. It was pretty good to be honest. Well, as you can imagine, I wanted to sell the lie. So I rang, told them I wasn't well and specifically had a stomach ache. She asked some questions like which side is it on, how bad is it out of 10, etc. I answered coincidentally with whatever side my appendix was on. You might be able to get this going. They said I should monitor it and call back in an hour and let them know how I'm feeling. So I did this. I rang back, said I still wasn't well, and the pain had increased. This led to a shocked nurse who I happened to have on speakerphone at the time tell me to go to the hospital. My appendix was playing up. My significant other heard and insisted she take me to the hospital. I didn't want to tell her I was lying, so off we go to the hospital. We get to the hospital and she does most of the talking whilst I play it cool, telling them it's no biggie. They rush me in through emergency, take some blood tests, and tell me that they'll prep me for surgery. At this point I started to question myself and realized I should have come clean at home, but now it's too late. I'm in too deep. Strap in Mitchell Scarnshroot, we are going for surgery. I stay overnight, get healthy dose of painkillers and watch The Shield all night. Then the next day they cut me open. I remember asking the surgeon as he talks me through what's about to happen if there's a chance of me dying. He says probably not, but the chance is never zero. Fast forward to the next day, I don't have an appendix and my adventure to get one day off work results in me getting a week off work. My partner and I have been together for 4 years and she will never know. I shut down internet whenever my significant other is talking trash on COD. Not because I mind, but because he does it in such an obnoxious way. He can go on for minutes at a time. Then he comes over to me very calmly and asks, "Is the internet down for you too?" I can whistle. When we first met for some reason I said I couldn't whistle. Did not realize how long I would have to keep that lie up. She has tried teaching me a few times, and sometimes I'll let a little one out. She's so cute every time she feels like she's making progress with me. I don't have the heart to tell her. I pooped on his shoe. We were away on vacation and had done lots of drinking and very little eating, and I got very drunk very fast. Luckily we were at a dog-friendly, important bar down the street from our Airbnb, so he took me home where I promptly stripped down to my undies and passed out in bed. A few hours later, still incredibly drunk, my body sent me alarm signals that I needed a toilet and I needed it now. I tipped myself out of bed and towards the bathroom, but not before I started pooing in my underwear. I made it to the bathroom mostly in time and finished my business, had a very long shower and headed back to bed. Even in my drunk state I had the sense to check the floor to see if anything had not made it to the toilet with me and found a nice neat pile of crap on his shoe. I took it to the bathroom and did my best to clean it with hand soap and went back to bed. Woke up the next morning with everyone asking me what was with the shoe on the bathroom and why it was wet. Told them a dog must have pooped on my boyfriend's shoe and I found it when I got up in the night to pee. No one doubted me and I've never told anyone the truth. He held onto the shoes for a few months. He's a practical guy and we referred to them as the poop shoes. I've never told my significant other the truth because every time I try, I can't stop laughing with embarrassment. He knows my username, so if he sees this, the secret's out. My wife won't fart in bed but I do. She says it's gross. She sleeps naked. I was making the bed one morning after she left for work and there was a dollar bill sized skid mark on the sheets where she had been sleeping. I stripped the bed and washed the sheets. I will never tell her because I love her that much. When going to the store one day my significant other asked me last second to take our 3-year-old daughter. I was already in the car, so my SO strapped her in. She was oddly quiet the whole car ride, and I accidentally went in the store without her because of it. I remembered after being in the store only about 45 seconds, but immediately left the store to get her. I was so embarrassed someone would notice, so I went to a completely different store. Now it scares the crap out of me, and even when I know I don't have one of my kids I always check behind me before getting out of the car. One of the worst feelings I've ever had, and even now I get sick to my stomach thinking about it. When I was little, my family left me at a highway rest stop. Twice. My ex-girlfriend had a few too many shots of tequila in a party and passed out on the couch. When I went to check her, I noticed she pissed all over the couch. To avoid embarrassments, I filled up a bucket with water and threw it over her to disguise it as a prank. I'm that kind of boyfriend. She still has no idea. Edit. Typo. Also, thanks for the gold, the silver and the love, guys. My ex-SO used to read me chapters from whatever book he was reading at the time. It was usually me that initiated it, mostly because it felt so warm and intimate, but also because I knew he had dyslexia and dysgraphia as a child, so it would give him a little boost of confidence. But this also meant he was actually really terrible at reading stories. I'm talking pure monotone. It made any book extremely boring, and I would cuddle up next to him so I could see it and read it in my head as he read. But I like to think the good outweighed the bad, and I never told him. I always watch ahead in Game of Thrones. They talk during each episode, and I can tolerate it better if I've already seen the episode. When my girlfriend was pregnant she liked to take baths every night before bedtime. Every now and again, I'd join her and enjoy that relaxing hot water. One day we are both sitting in the tub when she farted a big nasty fart. She and I both laughed, and I gave her crap for possibly breaking the tub. Then there it was. I notice a few brown things in the water. Turns out she had put a little. I was so absolutely disgusted that I nearly vomited. I didn't want to freak out because I know she would feel absolutely terrible and impossibly embarrassed. So I turned the jets on, added some bubbles, and sat there with her for another 10 to 15 minutes. Afterwards I suggested that we both shower off because I had added too much soap for bubbles. I still think about those poop chunks floating around next to me whenever I take a bath. My wife once did the joke, "Why did the chicken cross the road to get to the idiot's house? Knock knock. Who's there?" The chicken. Over text with me. I fell for it because I knew it would make her happy. She loves talking about how she got me, and it makes her so happy I can't bring myself to tell her I was the one who told her the joke in the first place. Her cooking is terrible. Bland, tasteless, sometimes not even cooked properly. Actually most times not cooked properly. I hate it when I mention that I like to cook and I'm quite good at it because she gets upset that she can't look after her man. I've tried to make it so that we both make dinner together. At least then I can make sure the food is done properly. Thank you for watching Internet's Funniest. Please like, share, and subscribe.